Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome to a brand new series here in City Skylines 2 called Woodville. A series where we build a city, a nation, a great kingdom, all based on the wood industry. We are now going to be building in the deep forests. We're going to be knocking down trees, turning them into lumber, and exporting them and selling them all over the world. The people living here will grow up on wood, they will work with wood, and they will earn their sweet cash from wood to sustain their lifestyle. Guys, if you're excited about this series and want to see how this is going to unfold, then please make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here so you get notified when more episodes do come out. But boys, this is definitely going to be an interesting series. This is just like Oil Town, but the only difference is in this one, Oil Town was isolated, but Woodville does have outside the region connections. This is going to be very, very interesting right now. Look at the vast expansions that we get to work with. There's all little nooks and crannies. We're going to have to rely on the ocean, on the plains, and most importantly, we're going to have to rely on trains to export as much timber as we possibly can. Now, what we need to do to kind of start this is we need to first focus on building a small little community that are going to kind of move in, start thriving, but more importantly, begin the journey in creating our first forest wood lumber industry to start creating some exports. So as the mayor and the leader of this great nation, we start making some profits. Right now, we've got 2 million big ones in the bank. We have barely anything unlocked. We're starting from scratch, and we've got to go through all the milestones to kind of do this. Now, I have picked up a pretty decent spot. There's a lot of areas we can pretty much work with right now and play around with. There's an out-of-the-region connection on this side, one just over there. There's also one over here as well. There's a bunch of kind of sea areas and transportation. I think ships can ultimately travel everywhere and anywhere they want to go. So harbors are going to play a big role for us. But I think I'm going to keep it simple. I think we're going to have our humble beginnings in this area just here. We are protected by the big waves by having this little kind of entryway on the waterways, which could eventually lead into something or another where we can create some exports. We're protected by the sea, the big waves, and it's very easy to access outside the region. So I think this area here might be the perfect start. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a small little town. Now, I don't know what the capital of Woodville is going to be. It might just be Woodville. I'm not too sure. This is where you guys can really help me out in the comment section down below. Give me some naming suggestions. Or the other option is, boys, do we name it after the first person that moves in? We'll see. We'll decide. So, good thing for us, when it comes to our industries, our zoned industries, unlike Oil Town and oil, it's locked. You had to get to milestone 4 for that. Wood is unlocked, and that's our forestry. So we're going to have to create the most amount of deforestation we have ever seen. So I reckon we start here then. On this little section here, we have a nice little highway connection. We actually have some really good highways running all the way through, but we'll bring it directly off here. And we might lead it as an additional connection connecting through. So I might come off this road here, a bridge over, and then lead down to a connection there. But because the highway is the faster road, technically they should utilize the highway rather than going into our little town. So let's begin, boys. This is going to be interesting to start to see if we can actually make Woodville make a profit. So we're going to bring it to here and we're going to raise this up. Now, I don't want too big of a bridge, but I want it enough that you can tell that we are going across a bridge. So I'm going to bring it to about there. We're going to pass this over. I'm not going to do a little support and then we're going to drop it down. Now, do I change the bridge up to maybe something a little bit, different? I don't know what options we got. We've got the wooden kind of crossover here that we could maybe utilize, which wouldn't be such a bad idea, to be honest with you. that as the entry point into the town, into the little kind of community that we first start with. So I've got to make sure that the highway is still the quicker option. So rather than just do a turn and coming straight down, I reckon we do this and then we make it go up slightly and round to make it a little bit longer than it kind of technically needs to be. So going back to the normal roads, and I'm going to come off it about here. Right. And then I just don't want to do a normal bend because that will create a shortcut route. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a bit of a longer direction. So if I bend this to go, and I think the bend, actually I might bring this out a little bit further again. And then do a smallish bend like that. And then do this then running down. Let's just go 112 again. And I reckon if I picked this point here, and what is that? That will be a 40 odd by a 40 odd. That should theoretically kind of be running down the same a little bit. So if I kind of went to about there and then brought this down to the same distance as well, then we've got our glorious connection. So we're going to create a small little bend here. So I'm going to go by a 48 by a 48. There we go. Do the same here, which should also be a 48 by a 48-ish. And then run you in. Right. I know it looks a little bit weird. But it's a nice way not to have it so universal, so organized, and so gridded. Weirder it looks. But it's all part of the fun, guys. It's all part of the fun right now. Right, I don't know why I paused it, but let's continue. So by doing that then, this is now saying that it's not the longest route. This is the shorter route still to utilize the highway. Now, this ain't going to be a big area, big town. This will be kind of be something a little bit, simple and basic. So coming off these roads, I could either use the alley roads or we could maybe go down to no, not a pedestrian street because technically it doesn't really make sense. I could do dirt roads and then maybe upgrade them as we kind of tick along. So let's say we started to kind of, build a little bit of a residential area. So let's say I come up to about here, for example. And then we start creating little kind of roads and runs and little cul-de-sac areas. I don't want to go too over the top, too crazy. I'm going to do the same over here as well. So this could be more of a straighter road to play around with. And then we kind of come up to there. I'm going to bring it down to here a little bit. I'll play around with alignments, and I do want some bends and whatnot. But because ultimately the type of road it is will then mean that it kind of doesn't have the highest of speed limits, if that's the easiest way to put it. I'm going to run you to there. Right, but I'm going to create a connection there and a connection there. Delete, 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 delete. And then we're going to bend this in. So even though that is then making this road even shorter, but because it's a dirt road, it's even slower. So I'm thinking of road hierarchy at this point. I don't know why I'm kind of taking this to this kind of extent, but it's all part of the fun, boys. It's all part of the fun. Right, you go into there. And what is this? This is a 48 by a 48. Right, okay. So we've got some kind of design now going on, which I really do like. I'm loving the fact that it's deep within all the trees. And let me just kind of build my last few little sections to kind of come off this. And then we'll look towards then moving people in and then starting the adventure of actually having the wood industry. So I'm going to come to just there and maybe just come off a little bit at the edge. Come off a little bit to the side here. And yeah, you can see how this area is going to transform. So before we can get into moving then, we are going to have to take care of a couple of little bit of utilities. So we're going to need power and we're going to need water. Now my water options as of right now is either doing like a water tower or pumping it up. I think the water tower is probably the best option to go with. I could go for like a small water tower. Now, because of the style of city it is, I mean, you see these in like a lot of American cities. You don't really see them in the UK, for example. But like, there'll be a big water tower on the outskirts or the edge of the town, or as you're driving near it to kind of remind you that this is the town, or they have the town name on the water tower. So I feel like we might do the same here. I'm going to drop you down there. It's a $60,000 building as well. And that should provide water to the town. Oh, this is exciting. So that takes care of the water, but now we need to look at the power. Now, I don't need to worry about too much about the price because we can export water and power to make up a little bit of the deficit if I'm not making much money. Now, we've got coal plants. I could do wind turbines. We got the electrical substation right there. So it's mainly coal plant or wind turbines. And I think wind might be our friend to begin with, right? Do you reckon a nice big wind turbine will be all good? Or do I go for a big coal plant? I mean, to be honest with you, I think without doing anything, don't we import the power? Oh, I'm not too sure. We'll see what they complain about first. We'll see what they complain about. So let's get some people moved in then. Let's kind of start with some zoning. So residential. Where am I going to put the commercial zoning? I think I'm going to start with commercial zoning because it'll be easier to place this down to decide where I want this to go. So let's say I just do... No, we'll do commercial, residential first, sorry. We'll do residential first. So start placing all this in. I'm not going to put it in every area, just in a couple of areas. Just to where it kind of makes a little bit of sense. Because, yeah, I do want a lot of people to move here, but I also want it to look like there's not that many people living here. You know what I mean? I want that type of vibe for Woodville. I really do. So, place you there. And just doing a couple of different styles, a couple of different designs and whatnot. You know, we will have some big built-up areas. I will eventually create like a big sprawling city at some point. Maybe in the future when we've got a little bit more investment on the go. But for now, this is not too bad. It is complaining that we do need some type of services. Sewage. That's one of them that we require as well, isn't it? And, right, let's just start there to begin with and see how we get on. So, we've got no sewage, which we do need to take care of, and it will be a shame to pollute this area, wouldn't it? It does feel like such a shame to pollute this area, but we're going to have to. Now, in terms of sewage, we've got ground pumping, water pumping. I've got to dump it. Until I can get the water treatment plant and all that jazz, I've got to dump it. Where does the water flow? So I might have to think about dumping it into an area that's not going to flow back down now. Looking at where the water does go. Oh, this is going to be a real shame. This is going to be a real shame. It's flowing down this way, so I might just dump it just in here. Listen, guys, I'm not happy about the dumping of this either, okay? I'm not happy. So let me just run this directly down to here. Does that technically connect? Yes, it does technically connect. We have water, we have sewage. So if I have a little fast forward, will they now stop complaining about water and sewage? Wait, do they have water and sewage? Oh, it's the bridge. Oh, I do apologize, guys. It's the bridge that is causing me some issues here. Right, if I just kind of bring this across just to there. Oh, we see it underground. I don't like that. That's the only problem when you're building on like an island like this. You technically see this stuff. Right, there we go. That's now all good, right? Now it's just a power issue. Right, I can deal with the power issue for now. We can deal with the power issue for now. We need to figure out what are we going to do for power. So I could do a coal plant. Right. Or I could do wind turbines. Now, the power doesn't connect over, does it? You need a transformer station to kind of bring stuff from outside the region, so we're going to have some power locally for now, which I will do wind turbines. Now, the wind's blowing down this way, so I reckon we just throw in a wind turbine just here. Right, and then we connect this up just to over here for now for a bit of power. So that should power the basic and the bare minimum that I currently have. And the fact that they're utilizing this highway still shows us that that is the quicker route than driving around. Right, so now we've got the basic stuff in, and the city, or the little village, can now flourish. No one is moved in just yet. We're still waiting for people to move in, but this shouldn't be long until we start seeing the first person drive in, which theoretically should come from this junction here. Oh, that's our first person in a taxi right now. In a taxi. Who's going to get off? There's our second one. So who's going to get out the vehicle first is the question. It's got to be the taxi, hasn't it? Whoever's in this taxi right now is the first resident to move into Woodville. So maybe we rename this region, this small little village, this community after this person who now gets out. Where are they getting out, boys? It's one passenger and one doge by the sounds of it. Right, come on, fool. Where's your house? Oh, this looks really nice here, doesn't it? It does look really nice. So taxi's pulling in. And who's getting out? There we go. It is Lee Darby. Ooh. So their name's Darby with a Y, but their household is Darby with an E. So is this the little village of Darby? What do you guys reckon? Let me know in the comment section. Should I rename this village after my first resident? I don't have the ability to do the district creation tool just yet, but we could rename this little village Darby. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Right, now we've seen our first person. Let's get some more expansions now on the go. So, if I brought... I mean, I've got to now figure out how we're connecting the rest of this stuff now up. So, if I bring you out by 3 and then... Where's the bend take place here? Oh no, the bend's further up. So that there, 38 by 40, that will do me. Connect you in. So you got to be careful to a certain extent, but I don't want to be too cautious because I want to, you know, get this looking pretty good. All right, coming up there. There we go. Let's go back to the normal kind of zoning style. We'll bring you down. There we go. And can I find a connection here? Now, the issue is, and I always have this issue, is the alignments of a lot of stuff. So delete you. You know, I'm still underground, boys. I'm still underground. Would it make sense here to do a complex curve? Oh, we're now a tiny village. Right, okay, we'll check that out in just a minute. We've unlocked a new petrol station. Very good, boys. Very good, very good. Complex curve, which is this one here. So, bam, bam, bam. Little bit of a wiggle. I like it, I like it. I've got to try and create connectivity, but I don't want the grid format that I'm so used to kind of building all the time. So if I just build that to there. Okay. I'm going to build you to there, and I'm going to build you to there. So I'm going to delete you, and then we're going to build you to here. I'm going to create a nice little bend there, bringing you down just for a hot minute. Run you down and in. And we've got... Oh, actually, you know what? I don't want that bend. I don't want that bend. Instead, I'm going to run it to there. Run that to there. Right, this feels like a little village, a little town right now. It feels like something. And I'm already enjoying it. Already enjoying how this is going to be looking. Right. So, we're going to build a little bit of commercial. I might place down that signature building as well, because the main goal right now, before I build my forest industry, my first one, is we've got to try and turn some revenue. So we are losing 675 big ones an hour right now. So let's drop in a little bit of commercial right now. We'll just keep the normal low density stuff at the minute. And we'll place down a nice big store just there. I'll do another one just over here as well. And then we might do a couple of smaller ones. So if I kind of went for this as a little zoning, a bit there, and a bit there. It creates a couple of little commercial spots on the bit of the main road, making this feel like the middle of the town, the downtown area, if you can even call it that as part of the village. And then, because we got a little bit more zoning on the go, we can do a few more buildings. So, do I go with a different style of building now? The options we have, boys, the terrace houses in the UK, or should I just kind of keep it simple? I think I'm going to keep it simple for just a minute around here. Right, get a few more people moved in. There we go. Much zoning as we can. I'm liking this. I'm liking how we've chose to kind of go down this road. And we'll do a nice little one there. One there. You know, we'll try and put some larger ones in some areas. Or maybe not there. There we go. And I might do a block just here. And close up on the block a little bit. But this is going to look really good. Right, so we've got people moving in right now. Darby was our first lady to enter into the village, so I think we might call this Darby. And then we're going to sprawl off into these areas eventually as well. But what I've done is I've made sure that the highway is still the quicker option. So we've not got vehicles coming through to get to the other side. They're still using... You can consider this in like a bypass road, couldn't you? You really could. So... have a little fast forward then. Let's try and get this to the point where it is right now. And then we'll take a look at doing a little bit of industry to start employing some people. And, of course, making some exports. So unemployment is pretty high right now. I mean, I do have to build the industries. I'm also waiting for the commercial to kind of open up as well to provide some jobs. And that will do what it needs to do. We could also place down a signature building, which I've got the UK petrol station. Which is not a bad shout, to be honest with you. I'm throwing this down. Just there. Now, that provides 6 jobs. And hopefully it does give us... Oh, it also lowers our import costs as well. There we go, boys. Nice little fuel station on the main road right there. Could that actually be placed here? Yeah, I'm going to place it there instead. I'm going to place it there. Right. All fun, boys. It's all fun and games right now. It's all fun and games. So we're at 82 in terms of our population. All the zoning... Oh, actually, no. Not all the zoning's done yet. We've still got a few more or one more building here to be built. And then we can say the zoning for the start of our little village is pretty much done. So 80 seems to be the capacity at the moment. But people will move out because we don't have everything available. Like unemployment. It's pretty high. So we need to take a look then at where we're going to build our first forestry. Now, of course, right? Of course, there's loads of places we can build it. The whole area is filled with trees. But I want to keep things quite local to begin with. So I could either choose to maybe start building it over here. I could kind of create a local one. I just need to get to the point where we are making money in this series so I can then start investing it in some bigger expansions. So why don't I build a dirt road off somewhere around here? Let's say, for example, I randomly picked here. Okay, I randomly now picked there. And I'm going to create a little bit of an L shape there as where we can place down our first forestry building. So this will get rid of a lot of the trees, unfortunately. It's how it is. It's a decent sized building to play around with at the same time. And we're going to drop it down and we're going to be quite reasonable with the radius that we work with. So how far do I take? I think I'm just going to stick to this because I could eventually build a secondary one on as well. Now, I could do what I've done in Oil Town, and that was use Anarchy to go outside of the borders. So if I was to do that, it will get rid of a large chunk of area. But this is the whole reason behind this series. It's all to do with the forest industry, Woodville. It's all to do with it right now. So I'm going to bring this going down and round, bring this going all the way down to... Now, do I hug it to the road? Or do I at least keep it open and free to allow some trees on the edge of the road to remain? I reckon we allow some trees to remain on the edge of the road. If it looks weird, then I'll redo it all if it looks a little bit weird. But into there, all the way down to here, and bam. So, oh no, we do get to keep the trees. So I could have just made it stick to the whole road, couldn't I? I didn't realize it would be like that. It shows you how much I've been playing Oil Town lately, that I forgot how the forest industry technically looks. Now, we don't have the utilities, but I think you can upgrade... Oh, I don't have the stuff to upgrade for road services. Right, advanced road services. Is this what I need to put utilities down? Let me unlock it. No. Wait, how do I do that for the roads then? I'm sure you could upgrade. Or am I being foolish? I'm sure you could upgrade the roads to kind of include... Ah, it's lighting, isn't it? You do it for lights to add voltage. So if I was to upgrade this strip of the highway right now, it will add lights, which theoretically, what that then does, not only provides lighting for people getting their way to and from work, but it also makes the electrical grid stretch. So if I then do the piping work, which the piping work is actually right here. It's weird how it doesn't connect to the main section, but that's okay. We now have a forest area. So that's going to provide up to 76 jobs. That's going to employ almost everybody living in the village. What a start already, boys. What a start already. So by that logic then, even though unemployment, there'll still be unemployed people because not everyone's able to fit those jobs. And what type of jobs does it provide? It's mainly uneducated and poorly educated. So yeah, everyone's going to be able to take those positions. Everyone's going to be able to. And once we can get public transport set up as well, people will be able to make their way to and from work. But it does still mean that I am losing money. It does still mean that. Now, there's a few ways in which I've got to look at this series, and maybe you guys can kind of help me out with these decisions. So my question would be, do I tax, once I have the ability to tax, which I think I do now, I do, yes. Do I tax the industries that I don't want the same way I did it in Oil Town? Like in Oil Town, I taxed everything that wasn't revolving around oil. So, which means we had to import it, obviously, but it means that all my job and market were focused on oil. Do I do the same for this? I'm not too sure, because if I start placing down factories, I can then only kind of alleviate the tax for the industries that are revolved around lumber, which means you get a lot of furniture factories and stuff like that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But we've got our first one set up. There's a lot of open jobs available, so I won't build a second one until we fill that one up. So theoretically, we should technically start thinking about getting more people now moved in. So let's extend a little bit more then. We're going to bring this down. So let me just bring my road connections further down first. That's going to stick out to there. We have obviously one just here. And we have one there. There we go. So let's see what we can ultimately do here. So we'll kind of come off in little areas, create little cul-de-sacs and whatnot. And bringing you down. There is a little connection here I can utilize as well. So I'm just kind of first getting a few things all set up. We're going to delete you, and I'm going to make this kind of bend into it. So it's a lot more work not building a grid. It is a lot more work not building a grid, but what you get out of it can look 10 times better. It's still a grid in a weird way. It's just a little bit all over the place, isn't it? Ultimately. So, building roads coming off there. I'll do another road connection coming off this. I'm going to bring this out a little bit further. And we'll bring you up to there. Bring you down, down. Continuing. Right, I want to create some interesting junctions. Now, where does this bend? Is it quite an early bend? There we go. Trying to make sure that they all flow through and they go into the directions that I want them to. There we go, there. Lead that one that way. That's going to come out to there. That is a nice little section. So, we can save some of these bigger open gap spaces for then the services that they will eventually require. Like, we already need to take care of death. Which is crazy already, isn't it? That people are already dying on me. But I do have quite a bit of cash, so I think we could spend some money on some of these services. We'll forever still be in debt. But we're going to make sure that we kind of keep on top of things. Now, this is all low-density stuff. There is some row housing. There's some low-density, southwest-style, semi-detached buildings. Do you know what? I might throw a couple of these in, see what these are like. So, throw a couple of you boys in there. One of you. And see what these kind of start looking like as I start squeezing them all in. But I don't want to do it where I delete too many trees, boys. Some of it doesn't really snap to where you expect it to snap. So we'll do a few over that side, and we'll try and drop a few over here as well. There we go. So nice big chunks of residential. Nice big chunks. We got some row housing for the southwest style. I might throw some of these looking onto the commercial. See how they kind of looking onto it, but without going too crazy with it at the same time. Now, because we've got 2 million in the bank, I will go in a little bit of debt just for the sake of being able to pay for some services. Now, when it comes to death care, we've got the option of a cemetery or a UK parish church. Now, I think the church might be the better variant of it because look at the size of that building. It's a little bit too big. So I think we should build an area for the church, which I think I might squeeze it in this little location here. Now, I might go back a bit so it's a little bit pushed back. So where are these two roads going to be connecting? I think I might do it to the point where... What? How did that just lose all its zoning? I'm not too sure. If I do it off... If I bring this up here and then move that way... I'll do one more. And then bring this coming out and down. I want this to snap into it. So bring you to there. And that bends in that way. So we're creating shortcuts through the town, but not shortcuts from the highway. You know what I mean? So can I get my UK parish church just here? How does that look? Do you know, that kind of fits in really well here, doesn't it? And that handles then our death care. That's really nice. It's so peaceful. Near the water as well. It's so peaceful, guys. So peaceful. Now, there is extensions you can add onto it for graveyards, but we're not at that point just yet. It does have 5 vehicles, and it's only really kind of servicing this generic area. So it's going to kind of keep it as it is. So I'll probably add the services as they request them. I do have a bit of money to play around with, so we're all good. And is unemployment still okay? It's at 35% right now. They filled all these jobs. Not particularly too high. I could throw in a little bit more commercial anyway, because we've got those demands for it. So do there, there, there. Squeezing a couple just here. Now we have some southwest ones as well. So I'm going to change up the style a little bit. And then see. So these are the buildings then. So it says southwest. And they are some interesting style buildings, aren't they? What's southwest? Is it like the Arizona kind of Texas style houses? Is that... no. Is Texas classed as southwest or the south? California. Would that be classed as southwest? Am I right in saying that? I'm not particularly too sure. These remind me of San Francisco houses. I like them. I like them. So a few more jobs will then be available. Death care has already been handled. And this is not shabby. This is not too shabby. So we should give him like a little bit of leisure. Oh no, we don't even have leisure unlocked. We have... oh, we're going to have to do garbage at some point. Right. Healthcare we're going to have to do at some point. But like I said, I'll kind of do it as they start requesting it. And see what kind of comes in. And what happens. Right. Residential. More residential is always a good option. Get as many people moving in as we can. We'll go back to some... we'll go back to some more low density over here. There we go. Keep it nice and simple. Really enjoying this, like, random zoning that I'm doing. I like it. It's so much better. Should I keep up with this theme that I'm doing throughout the whole of this series? Let me know, guys, in the comment section down below. Alright. Throw it all in, boys. Throw it all in. Lots of zoning coming in, boys. That's what we like to see. Slightly grow that population a little bit more. So it's not all about growing as much as we can. It's obviously making it look like it kind of fits within here. Right, so that's provided more jobs, but now we're getting more people moving in. So unemployment is at 26.8%. So would it now make sense to... I mean, what do you guys reckon, by the way? Should I make it hug the road, or do you reckon giving that little bit of a gap there kind of makes it look a bit interesting? Alright, I'm going to create a little section like that. We're going to place down another forestry. Can't even say the word, boy. You can't even say the word. Which we'll put... I'm going to put it right here. Just something a little bit different. And I'll do the same on this one. I won't make it hug the area. Can I go non-snapping for a minute? And if you guys think it will look better me hugging the actual highway road, because I'm also thinking if we do eventually, you know, extend the size of the highway, then we got a bit of space to work with. Let me go back to Anarchy. I'm going to take this now all the way down. We're going to go as far as we can with this, as this will be the bigger size forestry right now in this area. So now I know that it doesn't delete or destroy any trees. That's pretty good for me. But this is what we're going to see a lot, boys. We're going to see a lot of forestries, because this whole area is going to be built on the wood lumber industry. I'm just not too sure whether to tariff of it, and you know, not to get too political in this series, but with what's going on in the world events right now, I could tariff all the other industries and lower the tariffs for wood. I could do a Ronald Rump on everybody right now in this series. Right, put the snapping now back on. As this now runs all the way back down. So very, very, very big run right there, and then I can get a very smaller one on this side. But that looks really good, doesn't it? I'm actually quite excited to see where this series could potentially go. So this is going to provide 116 jobs, and what's good enough for us is the fact that they're all uneducated and poorly educated. So we haven't got to run directly to education just yet. That will provide a lot of jobs. There is, you know, a lot of job availability. There is employees versus employers. We haven't filled, I mean, the poorly educated jobs need to be filled more. We do need more of them. And we do have a lot of open positions that can be taken. It's just up to them if they want to take them or not. Now, there is definitely more room for industry. Not industry, sorry, commercial. Oh, signature buildings. What are the other options we've got? We've got some pubs. Okay, that sounds pretty good to me. Gonna drop a cheeky little pub in, boys, so they can go to the pub after work. I'm gonna throw that in on the corner here, because it kind of kills off the dead space. Got a pub there, boys, with a beer garden. Damn. How many? It provides 8 jobs, which is pretty sweet. And what are they for? Well educated, educated. Interesting. We also have another pub and the Church Inn. Once a village pub, now serves as a country pub in the city. Perfect for locals to catch up and talk rugby. Okay, that's funny. And then another pub. How many pubs are there in? Is that what people think of the UK? Just pubs? I mean, I'm from the UK and I think that. Right, let's get a few pubs down then, boys. Because these workers have got to let loose somewhere, right? They got to let loose somewhere, boys. We'll get this one in the heart of the residential area. And how small is this? Can I get it right on the corner? Right, I've placed that pub right on the corner there. They do stand out a little bit at the minute. But, you know, I've got to provide leisure, attractiveness, reducing the import costs, and of course providing a few other levels of jobs outside of the wood industry. Right, we have also unlocked the... Oh, actually, are we making a profit right now? We actually are. So, where's our money coming from, is the question. Where is our money coming from right now? So, we're getting it from... let's see our services. Electricity, water and sewage. We're getting a bit of money coming in from that, but it's not enough to kind of be on a pure profit. So our service upkeep is 40 grand versus our fees and trade. It's the taxes that are making us the money. So we're already running out of profit, guys. I mean, you also got, yeah, our taxes are pretty high right now, but is that because we're also exporting? Yes, 13,000 is coming from the wood industry. So we are now exporting wood, which is really important for our economy. It really, 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 really is important for the Woodville's economy right now. Very exciting, boys. Very exciting right now. So unemployment is now down to 10%. So it's mainly all about, at this point, providing the level of jobs required for certain areas. So there is the ability to put another petrol station. I could build another pub, but I'm going to focus more on putting in some more industry. So we'll go with the... I don't want to go European style. We'll go for these... Yeah, we'll go for these for the commercial. There we go. A couple of large-ish buildings coming in. And we got all this space over here to work with at the same time as well. So in terms of milestone stuff, we've unlocked city budget, taxation, city statistics, and a bunch of medium density stuff. Road stuff, healthcare, and garbage management. Oh, that's a point. Yeah, I'm going to have to sort out garbage management at some point. We've also done the production panel. Oh, okay, that's good. We've got the production panel now. Medium density stuff again, educational stuff, which is a lot to look at. A lot of school-related things. And then next for us, service-style stuff as well. More police buildings. Right. So the production panel is an interesting one. Because we can now see where we have the surpluses in it. So we've got a complete surplus of lumber. I don't have any... I mean, let's break it down to what we can produce. We take lumber, and then we use it to process. We could either, as you can see, well, we get it from forestry or importing, and it's either used on heating, processed into planks, or exported. So those planks are just here, which we're not making any. Now, you get them from factories, which is zoned industry, which would then get used to either upkeep, reducing the upkeep in the buildings, which is great, producing furniture, producing paper, I think, and exporting it, which the paper is just here. So you need it from the industry above it, which is used for offices, consumers, and exporting. And then do any... Oh, and there's the furniture. There we go. For some consumers, offices, and exporting. I don't think there's any material goods that are required. Sorry, immaterial. No. It wouldn't be then. It wouldn't be immaterial then, would it? If it was material, fool. Shut up. Right, now we need healthcare. So when it comes to healthcare, I could do it a UK medical practice, which is a bit too big for us. Is there anything small enough that will make a bit of sense? I think the original medical clinic might be the one. That's small. The French one, that would look good, but I think it's the wrong style of building for this generic area. So why don't we place down the small medical clinic, and I'm going to throw it in. I'm going to throw it in just... Hold on, let me extend this road a bit more. I'm going to throw it in just here. So put it right there. So, you know, the medical clinic near the waterfront, nice and beautiful, does what it needs to do, and should allow me then to also start extending and expanding off it. So I'm gonna come up just off here. Right, I need to redo that because I'm still on the complex curve, which is throwing me slightly off. There we go. I'm going to bring that down slightly. Move that up. Well, that's very wonky, isn't it? It is very wonky, this. Right, there we go with that. We'll come off here, by the way. Now, we do have to make it walkable. That's something else that we kind of need to also take a look at, is making some areas very walkable. At the moment in time, I don't think there's much of an issue. Maybe just around here. Now, can I do walking paths? I can. I can't. It's a shame you can't do dirt roads. You know what I mean? So if I just do you to there, and do you to there, Is that a little bit too far? I feel like that might be a little bit too far over. Let me get rid of the snapping. So if I went to there, could I sneak this down the middle? That's probably better than doing this one. What happened there? Condemned. No! But that creates it and makes it very, very nice and walkable in that facility. And then do the same coming down here. So I don't want to get it set up where it creates crossroads. Crosswalks, whatever it may be. But that goes this way. You go to there. You walk straight down to there. So it just creates these little areas in which they can kind of walk, and everything is within reaching distance at that point, isn't it? Everything feels within reaching distance. You can go for a nice stroll around the town. For some reason it condemns the building when I place down the walkable area. So we'll just stick with that for now. And then we'll just eventually see what it progresses into in the future. Right, unemployment then. 8.6%. So we completely fill out the poorly educated jobs and the educated. So that is, it's interesting to see, considering that we just do not have any educational stuff. It's very, 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 very interesting to see how it all unfolds. It really is. So, I don't want to provide any schools just yet, because we don't have the jobs available for the educated that they're all kind of sucking up straight away. So we'll leave it as it is. We do get the odd building that we can place down that does provide educated and well-educated, but not enough to kind of fill the capacity. Not enough to fill the capacity. We could do more commercial zoning, which some of it does also do the educated stuff like that. But nothing's of a bulky size unless we start looking at actual zoned industry. But this is a good start, boys. We've got a vast area to work with, vast sections. I don't know where we're going to move and where we're going to progress to next. But what a humble beginning. Well, an actual humble beginning right now. And a very interesting way to kind of do it. Rather than maximizing tall skyscrapers and whatnot, this could be a nice relaxing change. If you want to see another episode of Woodville, boys, then please make sure you smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here, so you get notified when more episodes do come out. But until next time, I'll see you all soon. So goodbye.